So this is the page I opened it on. Series 5, Human Voice on Healthy Cells. I love this automatic reading shit. It's great, always opens up on a great page. So let's go. Let's transform these trauma frequencies of pain. Mind over matter, mind over body. But the mind is the slave, not the master. Page 34 is the Fibonacci. 21 over 34, the golden ratio. That centre point of vacuum of equilibrium. Now some Haramane. Series 5. Human voice on healthy cells. Musical notes, Ionian mode. Duration of sound, 8 minutes. In Series 4, I took a sample of blood cells from the finger of a person immediately before taking the photograph. Then I asked that person to sing the sound. This way, the voice of the person sounding through his or her. This way, with the voice of the person sounding through his or her own cells, I could measure the greatest possible resonance between a voice and cells. I photographed these cells for the first 7 notes of the Ionian scale, C major scale. Tell you what though, those vibrations inside when you do get to that buzziness does feel good, I tell ya. The human voice carries an added element which cannot be found with any other instrument. The voice can be considered the premier instrument because its inflection carries not only the physical aspect, vocal cords, pitch of the note, and emotional colours, but also a finer, subtle element, which comes from the conscious and unconscious will of the singer. The human voice carries its own resonance of the soul. This difference, evident in these photographs. Is what makes the voice the most powerful healing instrument, particularly when the person needing the healing produces the sounds with her or her own voice. Shouldn't that be his or her own voice? Like the cells in Series 3, a thrusting energy is created by the vibration of the voice through the mass of the cells. This person, however, responds to the note of C261 with blue rather than orange, page 19. 19's pride. It's interesting to note that in colour therapy, blue is the complementary colour to orange. I thought it was purple. Pretty pictures. D, 293.66, sung with the human voice, presents a strong structure in the field of these cells. Like Series 3, the cells seem to be responding to the life-giving force of the kidneys, which I later linked in my research to D. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys support the qi of the spermatozoa. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys support the qi of the spermatozoa, a symbol of creation. Be still, you'll see. What a goddess wind, dance be free. Photo 88. Human voice on healthy cells. Music note E329.63. With E329.63, the cell responds with fire colours of red and magenta. In my research, I later linked E with the triple warmer, which in Chinese medicine is considered the second fire of the 5 elements. Excusez-moi. Oh, look at that. Shh. Photo 89. Human voice and healthy cells. Musical note F349.23. Fundamental note. This Curlian photograph. Curlian cameras. You take a picture of. I want one of them. Take a picture of the. Oh, interesting. Shh. The Curlian photograph is probably the most important photograph of my collection. It shows that when the sows feel a vibratory affinity with a certain note, the sow's aura transforms into a mandala shape of vibrant colours. This, I concluded, was the sow's fundamental note. Shivers! And if the person tunes with it, harmony can be achieved within the body's cells, the person's energy field and the environment. Get us out of here. Get us out of here. In this photo, we can see that F349.23 is a person who is singing through his cells. The energy is unified inside and out. You can see its vibrant colours of magenta, pink and turquoise in the shape of a mandala. The aura merges into the environment. There is no separation. The cells are bathed in light and alive with full resonance. The fundamental note can be very helpful for the physical body, though its harmonising and regenerating effect at the cellular level through its harmonising and regenerating effect at the cellular level. It also reactivates the link between the physical body and its surrounding environment, creating a link between matter, the nature, the cosmos and beyond. Practicing one's fundamental sound has a profound influence on the subtle bodies as a code of access for memory. But just remember, keep coming back. The mind shall not win, our mind shall not win, our heart is too strong. We got your ET bag info now, we don't need naming phone. Compassion is a state of constant giving of the self for others. The birds and the bees and the fishes in the seas. Practicing one's fundamental sound has a profound influence on the subtle bodies as a code of access for memory. The first memory, although not available to conscious awareness, is the resonance of ancestral memories, the message of our life's programme that we carry with us from lifetime to lifetime. And if you want a more scientific approach to that or whatever, because there's always all angles, Bruce Lipton's your man there, he's awesome. This link from the physical cellular level to the subtle energies which contain the memory of the life programme helps to regain contact with all dimensions of being, from ancestral memories to future purpose. Drink some drink. A donation recipe. Put that down. Heavy, big. John Livingston Seagull. What we open on? Pictures. 51. So this is heaven. 51. Change. 5. New beginnings. 1. 6. Unconditional love. We feel the unconditional love. Do you feel the unconditional love, guys? Give yourselves a hug. So this is heaven, he thought. And he had to smile at himself. It was hardly respectful to analyse heaven in the very moment that one flies up to enter it. As he came from earth now, above the clouds and in close formation, with the two brilliant gulls, he saw that his own body was growing as bright as theirs. True, the same young Jonathan Seagull was there that had always lived behind his golden eyes. But the outer form had changed. It felt like a seagull body, but already it flew far better than his old one had ever flown. Why? With half the effort, he thought, I'll get twice the speed, because that's what it's about. 13 effortless efforts. Shh. Why, with half the effort, he thought, I'll get twice the speed, twice the performance of my best days on earth. His feathers glowed brilliant white now, and his wings were smooth and perfect as sheets of polished silver. He began, delightedly, to learn about them, to press power into these new wings. At 250 miles per hour, he felt that he was nearing his level flight maximum speed. At 273, he thought he was flying as fast as he could fly. And he was ever so faintly disappointed. There was a limit to how much the new body could do. And though it was much faster than his old level flight record, it was still a limit that would take great effort to crack. In heaven, he thought, there should be no limits. The clouds broke apart, his escorts called, "Happy landings, Jonathan!" and vanished into thin air. He was flying over a sea, toward a jagged shoreline. Shh, come on! Oh, shh, down. A very few seagulls were working the updrafts on the cliffs. Away off to the north, at the horizon itself, flew a few others. New sights, new thoughts, new questions. Why so few gulls? Heaven should be flocked with gulls. 11 o'clock, got to be in front at 11 o'clock. Might get out, be up front at 11 o'clock. Time? Time? Oh, shh, not 11 o'clock, fine. You didn't look at the time, how do you know? You trust my heart, just good heart. Shh. Still not slept. Meditation's keeping us there, though. Meditation's keeping us there. We're not falling like we were before. Lots more balance, lots more connection. But get us out of here, please. Get us out of here. I want my Zendaya. I want my healing lounge of 66. I want to play. I want to play with the crystals. I want to play with thoughts. I want to play with the magnets. The colours. The rain. He was flying over a sea toward a jagged shoreline. A very few seagulls were working the updrafts on the cliffs. Away off to the north, at the horizon itself, flew a few others. New sights, new thoughts, new questions. Why so few gulls? Heaven should be flocked with gulls. And why am I so tired? All at once, gulls in heaven are never supposed to be tired, or to sleep. Where had he heard that? The memory of his life on earth was falling away. Earth had been a place where he had learned much, of course, but the details were blurred. Something about fighting for food and being outcast. The dozen gulls by the shoreline came to meet him, none saying a word. He felt only that he was welcome, and that this was home. Back down to ground, yay, this one, Urban Shaman. If we're going back down to ground, we start at the source of stress is in the middle. Fourth adventure, creating harmony in the body. Well, we start at the fifth adventure and go back. We should have some review all together. Let's open it up here. No title. That's okay, we're just going to read from 176, Urban Shaman. Friend. Neither of whom liked to hike with a staff. To try it, and both of them had the same experience. Getting far ahead of the others without effort. 50-inch staves are now a regular part of our hiking gear. Still curious, I experimented further and discovered that the critical figure was not 25. Doubling 25 to 50 had worked, but halving it to 12.5 did not. Numbers, I love the numbers. The critical figure turned out to be 5. Changed as 5. I don't know why, because I don't know yet what a 5-inch length is resonating with. But a wand of 5, 10, 15 or 20 inches works about as well as one of 25. I say about as well, because the best effects are still with 5, 25 and 50 as far as I can tell. What the fuck's going on? I like this though. I haven't worked with lengths beyond 50, and I have not yet worked with centimetres enough to present any conclusions about metric lengths. And breathe and shush. Laughing, yeah, you go, he's high. A 5-inch rod of wood, plastic or metal. It's handy to carry around and put in a pocket or a purse. Why would you put that in a purse? And good to hold to empower your thoughts and your presence when you are thinking and speaking. But not the present you wrap up, give to someone. The present that brings you into the moment, the here and now. Here and now, where are we here and now? We're in Snowflake's bed, which unfortunately is residing in a long-reach psychiatric institute or something in Red Roof. Seeing some professional today at 11. Got to be up front at 11. They're not going to come and get me, but that's good because they haven't come and get me for a while. I can manage this. It's just the energy is too strong. I can't clear the energies. I need to focus my energy on me now. We make them understand. I'll make them understand. A 5-inch rod of wood, plastic or metal is handy to carry around, put in a pocket or purse, and good to hold to, empower your thoughts and your presence when you are thinking and speaking, because of the third principle. Keeping some of your attention on the rod increases its energizing effect. Interesting. For meditation or long haipul, holding a 25-inch wand with both hands will energize the whole experience and keep you energized for a while after. And you can get nicely charged with Kimana by laying down between the two 50-inch staves laid on the floor. It's as if the staves have radiating, intersecting fields that amplify each other. Lying between two staves gives you a greater effect than lying next to a single star. People, hi Keza, hi Dawn, hi Charlotte, Suit of mine. Rotational Kimana. Early in the 1970s, a man named Charles Shubin displayed something really radical at various places in Los Angeles. He was an object shaped like a kayak, made of either wood or plastic. Because of its form and polish, it was beautiful to look at and pleasant to handle. The radical part had to do with its behaviour. When placed on a flat, smooth surface and spun clockwise, it would spin smoothly, for it seemed to be longer than it should. Friday night. When spun counterclockwise, it would spin for a while and then start wobbling up and down, finally stop its forward motion and actually spin backward for a while. That's more us, isn't it? It looked as if it were actually resisting movement in a counterclockwise direction. Much attention was given to the apparent fact that at least one of Newton's laws of motion was being badly violated by this innocent object. An object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. Friction and gravity as outside forces could slow down and stop a spin. But what in heaven's name was causing the wobble? The stoppage of the spin before friction and gravity could play their role, and the reverse motion. Three extra phenomena with nothing to account for them. Sherburne got a lot of people excited and made a lot of other people unhappy. Part of that reaction was caused by the behaviour of the object, and part was because he said he got the proportional dimensions of it, from long by 50 cubits wide by 30 cubits high. In fact, he called his object the arc. I used the model I bought from him for a long time to demonstrate the existence of more aspects of the universe than we've yet uncovered, and also to freak out physicists and other scientific types. I even had a neat theory going about spiral energies, vortex maths, to explain why the counterclockwise effect occurred, to show that it had nothing to do with to show that it had nothing to do with Coriolis force, the effect of the Earth's rotation that makes cyclones in the northern hemisphere rotate counterclockwise and cyclones in the southern hemisphere rotate clockwise. Like when the water goes down, it's like, oh, different. We liked it in New Zealand. It suited us. We backwards up here, but down there it's good. Born again Kiwi. Hey home. I took my arc to Tahiti and demonstrated that it operated the same way south of the equator as north. My neat theory was blown, however, by one of my students, who sent me 2 arc models he had carved out of the same branch of a pecan tree. One worked the same as my arc, and the other did the exact opposite. When spun counterclockwise, it would go smoothly, and when spun clockwise, it would wobble, stop, and reverse. I, who had freaked others, was freaked myself. Why Buddhism? War, love and peace. Anti-war, not anti-war, negative words. Anti-war cross, pro-peace tick. Constructive criticism cross. Constructive feedback on the information loop of senses, internal and out, tick. Accessing the healing power of the vagus nerve. The power of neurodiversity. Why Buddhism? Back to sound, I do believe. New page, where does it open? Oh, chapter 1X, chapter 9 completion. It's a pretty Dorito spiral. Yay, synchronicities. It's amazing when you're in the present moment. When you're in the right way, there's no past, there's no future. There's just the now, the here and now snowflake's bed. So when I feel myself trembling, losing a grip of reality with these bare walls and these dear souls that the system so doesn't understand, because it's still in a linear perspective, not the circle with a twist, the circular system thinking. So next time you're lost in the future of worries or the past of pain, get creative. What is it you want to do? You don't know, I don't know. So ask yourself, repeat the mantra, say it backwards, spell it forward, spell it backwards. Jump it up and down, who knows, who cares, you're on your own. Do whatever the hell you want. Just bring yourself with whatever tool that is into the now. Chapter 9, sound correspondence for the subtle energy fields, aura. Acoustic sound in the subtle fields. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. 1, 2, 3. They got blue and purple and kind of pinky, but I thought indica was like dark blue. Healing with acoustic sound in the subtle bodies is like opening the silence and listening to this silence. This type of healing involves tuning to your own silent dimensions as well as to those of your client. Sound and movement linked with the Tantien opens the perception of the subtle areas of energy. This work pulls from earth the energy to be channeled through the body and permits the link to the cosmic energy through the subtle fields. Through this way, we can change the resonance of our own vibration. Acoustic sound and its overtone fluidifies the density of emotion and excess of mental activity, making the aura more light. Sound opens the field to a wider level of consciousness. To connect with this level of transformation, I start with the cycle of fifths for the chakras as a base. For each chakra, I use its fundamental note to begin sounding an overtone. Scale that expands upwards, opening the subtle fields.